fellas, we're going to blow out the water lines. Hopefully I'll be able to catch this on video. Anyway, we shut this valve first, and you notice the angle that it's at, or you can see the pipe, so it's real critical not to pull up on the T. That's why the wire ties are on there. It's the same arrangement as the valve out front with a kind of a U-shaped thing just going over the valve itself. So I twist it 2 or 3 times to kind of loosen the valve up, and then I leave it in the off position. This shuts off, this allows water to run to the faucet here, but not run to the house. So give it a twist or two. Let's shut it, and then I open it back up, shut it, open it back up, and then shut it for the final time. That just works that valve a little bit. And then when we get down to the last part of the blowout, well, the way these valves work, when you shut them off, it opens the valve inside the valve and allows the water to bleed back into the ground. Well, the only time I've had a freeze up, it was on the pipe from that valve into the valves that we'll be working with here in just a second. Thank you, Joe, for the pad. I didn't give it to Andy yet. This little black mark here, that's the only panel that needs to be accessed or pulled up out of the way. Okay, you can see the pipe coming up out of the ground. So we'll hook the air up here. We'll close off this valve, which keeps air from pushing back out and bleeding out into the valve we just turned off out there next to the faucet. So that'll be closed. Then we'll open this valve, and this will allow us to blow air all through the house. And after we get all those blown out, we'll open this valve and push the water that's in the line back out through that valve. And this is our quick disconnect here. So when I open this, you'll see some water come out. Maybe. No biggie. But I'll shut it down here and hook up the air. First thing we got to do, or not the first, this is moving on to number 2, I guess, is move in the hot water heater. You'd think that the hot water heater would drain on its own, but it won't. The pilot on and off switch has been moved to the off position, so the water heater's off. You don't need to turn off the gas here. It's turned off here when it's in the off position. The way this valve works is you turn this knob, or turn this whole assembly to open the valve to drain the hot water heater. So what I've got here is a splitter that's got 2 ball valves in it, and I went with this because when you tighten this on here, you never know if it's going to line up with the drain hose here. So what you do, I have to lay the light down, screw it on, pretty tight, and then see the valves are closed and you can see the balls there. And then open this valve up, okay, it's open. Now the hose, it's a stiff hose, will line up best with this one. There's a little play there. tighten it up, and then open this valve. And maybe you could hear the water start running out. But now's when we'll go turn on the air compressor. What you're hearing is air blowing through the toilet. What we're going to do is put this apparatus on there to shut the valve. Gotta say, I've never had it blow that fast. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about another aspect of this operation. Particularly with that toilet in there, we get all the water out of the tank. That way, we don't have to worry about it putting antifreeze in there. Alright. The hot water, nothing coming out of the hot water heater now. Go in here. Turn that valve. Close the valve. We can unhook the hose. Then close the valve. And take off our Y adapter. And we should be done with the hot water heater. Note, this lip, you gotta pull up and then out. Otherwise, if you just pull out, you'll bust off that lip. See the lip? Alright. Now, all we really do is go from faucet to faucet. The toilets have kind of already done themselves. Open the valve. While that's running, the tub, I have disconnected the hose, both water lines to the tub from when they leaked behind the water heater. So you don't have to worry about it. Once it starts spitting like that, close it down, open the other side. And then it's just a matter of going from faucet to faucet. There are two faucets on the outside of the house, and the one on the back is the one that's most likely to freeze. In fact, first part of deer season this year, I had it dribbling water because it gets so cold back there. I go through this, working my way around the house, go to each one 3 or 4 times. We've been through all the faucets 3 times, and we're going to do this one more time. That's what we want to hear. That's about as good as it gets. There's just always a little water that doesn't get pushed. See, air has pushed water back up the hole here, but I'm going to give you to see when I close the valve and direct all the air that direction. So I'm opening this one up. And all the valves are closed in the house, so all the air should be going out this way. You can see it's pushing water out of there. Pushing air, or pushing water back down that line and out the valve body, down the ground. Now you're never going to push all that water out of the tube there. That water is not dirty because that's what's in the pipe. It's because blowing out around that valve, it's surrounded by dirt and gravel. Okay, we're going to let this work for a few minutes and then we'll work on the toilets. We're going to go ahead, disconnect the air. Turn off the pump. I'm going to close this valve. And we're going to close this valve. Alright, it just does not feel good, but there it went. So, in the spring, this valve will have to be opened back up because it's cutting off water to the house. And there is a certain danger here that if the valve out there should leak, water could get up in here and freeze, which happened to me once. But we go ahead and close it, and then we'll just have to turn it back on in the spring. You can see the black tube there. It's on the inside because I wanted something stiff to try to get down in there as far as I could, but you can't get all the way around the corner, which I figured out after I froze the toilet in the other bedroom. So I pumped out and sponged out the top. That way you don't have to put any antifreeze in it. And that's what the big funnel here is for. Just put it right in here. And I glove in, probably about a third of a gallon. This stuff's pretty cheap, and you sure don't want to have to replace the toilet. Because you want to fill up that trap. Because this antifreeze is not like car antifreeze, where you go for a 50-50 mix. It actually says you have to have 100% antifreeze in there for it to be effective. There's no water running to this tub, but just out of some water is dripped in there, and also it creates a barrier for bugs and such to crawl up. So I put some in there just for good luck. So we're hitting every P-trap. Well, you get the gist of it. So where I keep all the miscellaneous plumbing stuff. And also our little thingies here. And it should be good to go. And then as far as coming up in the winter time, you just have to carry in water
And if you do things right, the only thing you have to pump out and re-antifreeze is the toilet in there by the bathtub and the kitchen sink here. So I think that's going to be about it.
There was one other thing I ought to pass along. Not real magic, but when it's cold, it can be a real booger to get this plastic back in place. But what I do, just get it pointed under there and then turn backwards. Or sometimes you can sneak it in by doing this. I think you get the idea. Air compressor. This is a low pressure air compressor. It's only operates at like 30 or 40 pounds, so when it poops out, you'll want to use the compressor, but dial the pressure way down. You don't need it running at 90 or 100 pounds. In fact, it might damage the lines. And also, this is a continuous duty compressor, so the fact that it's going to run for an hour, hour and a half, whatever, doesn't hurt anything. This is a little dump valve I put on here. Totally unnecessary. You don't need to ever do anything with it.